So here we go again in Cannes, C-A-N-N-E-S, France, which is on the Mediterranean border, right across from North Africa, where all of the Muslim terrorists are. You had a female with two children, threatened to suicide bomb the Cannes TV festival in 2018. So now I'm also reading, so you got all the Muslims going up to France. They're already in there. They're burning up cars. They had a gal in France who refused to take off her Islamic garb, her veil, and so she was arrested. Muslims rioted. 30 Muslim men attacked the police station and throwing rocks and bottles and things at it. They started lighting cars on fire and destroying them. And this is what Islam always does, because under Islam, you know, it's based on 22 verses of the Quran. You got a picture of good old Muhammad here. This is a pretty funny cartoon, and it fits in with a woman suicide bomber going to Cannes, France, and also with hundreds of Bangladesh Muslims, most of them supporting, if not all of them, supporting ISIS, coming across, hundreds of them, into Texas, too. So here it says, I don't always marry first graders. That's Muhammad. He married a 6-year-old girl. It says, but when I do, I wait until they're in the 3rd grade, 9 years old, before I violate them like my goats. Stay violent, brutal, and backward, my friends. Pretty much sums up Islam. You know, we've talked about this before, that Islam is based on what did Muhammad do? What did Muhammad do? So let's take a look what's going on over there in Europe. As well, we'll just start off with France. Clip number 3.
Welcome to the Islamic State of France. Under Sharia law, you can enjoy everything the Islamic State of France has to offer, as long as you follow the rules. Enjoy the fine art featured at the Louvre. The Mona Lisa finally looks how a woman should. See the newly renovated Notre-Dame de Paris. Stroll down Avenue des Champs-Élysées among all the shops and make your way to the Arc de Triomphe. The Arc de Triomphe now rightfully stands for the brave jihadi fighters who gave their lives for our fearless leaders. Grab a bite to eat at one of our revamped restaurants, as long as it isn't during a fast. Lastly, we continue to teach our children the tenets of Sharia law and train the next generation of fighters to defend the Caliphate. A new regime of culture in the state of France. Come see!
So here we have, that's pretty funny, but it's very tragic. It's very sad, because as this is happening, you're getting lunatics. Well, not lunatics. She's actually a good Muslim. And the word lunatic comes from Luna. It comes from the Muslims worshiping the moon, Luna, waiting for Ramadan, looking at the moon, looking at the moon. And then all of a sudden they go crazy. Ah, Al Akbar! They want to kill everybody. Hey, what did Muhammad do? 22 verses of the Quran are based on what did Muhammad do? What did Muhammad do? He's into pedophilia, marrying a 6-year-old girl. That would be the equivalent of a 1st grader today. And actually, Ayatollah Khamenei, in his little green book, points out on the very last paragraph of his book about Sharia law that it is legal for grammar school age kids to get married without the consent of their fathers. Why? Because what did Muhammad do? Muhammad had sex with a 6-year-old girl. We've had all the proof, evidence, and facts on that too. So what's happening in France is all being done with the cooperation of our European leaders, with France, with Germany, all these other guys. You have a few of them that don't, like Poland and Hungary and Austria. Also, you have all the social media, Starbucks coffee, are all involved in supporting bringing these Muslims who always end up like this guy advocating for sex with little girls, or like this gal here, 22 verses in the Quran, commanding the Muslims to do it. Muhammad did, and Surah 860, which is the basis of the Muslim Brotherhood, the Arabic at the bottom of this, the Arabic is Surah 860, which says, wage war, wage war, wage war, and terrorize, kill the infidels, create widows and orphans. Clip number 2.
Welcome to the Islamic State of Germany. Infiltration through Syrian refugees has allowed our brave jihadi fighters to conquer, conform and convert Germany, extending our caliphate. Our Western foes used to repress our people, forcing them to live on the streets and in train stations. Now, thanks to our Caliph Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, they are able to live as they deserve to live, enjoying everything Germany has to offer. And so can you. Hike through the Black Forest in the southwest region of the Caliphate. But don't forget to watch out for IEDs. Celebrate the arranged marriages of future jihadi soldiers at Oktoberfest. You can even sell your daughter or sister to be married. Pray at the new Cologne Cathedral, now a place to sing praises to Allah. Head east to the capital and largest city in the country, Berlin. The Brandenburg Gate, once a symbol of peace, now represents our Islamic power. Celebrate our Mujahideen soldiers engaged in jihad as they fearlessly continue the fight in the name of Allah.
Experience a new culture of Islam.
Come see.
So you got a great big salam alaikum. Hey, there you go. Peace be unto you. And yeah, the rest of you guys go kill yourselves, everything. Hey, this guy here, following along with that culture, bringing it in here. He got $50 million in his school here in Los Angeles, but it's happening in New York and Texas and University of Arkansas. It's happening all throughout the United States and the West. The guy's name is Jihad Turk. Salam alaikum, Jihad Turk. He is the director of the Bayan School of Theology, which I call the Muslim Brotherhood School of Theology. The logo of the Muslim Brotherhood, again, down here, Surah 860, wage war and kill the infidels. In other words, create widows and orphans. So old Jihad Turk, supported by the LA Police, LA Sheriff, at the Claremont School of Theology, he gets $50 million, a grant working with the LAPD and the LA Sheriff to bring in imams from the third world, and then they're going to train them all about how to become integrated with America. Talk about integration. Hey, Starbucks gets busted for arresting 2 guys for trespassing. Of course, there's more to that story. That was a setup big time, but these guys didn't come in to obey the laws of the United States. These 2 guys arrested at Starbucks, they came in to start problems. And Starbucks has been a great big aider and abettor to bringing in these Muslim Brotherhood immigrants into the United States. Now, along with Starbucks, you got Facebook. By the way, my television show from last week was put on the watch list by Facebook to have it excluded on a couple of the sites. The Muslims complained because I read from the Quran and I demonstrate using their holy books of the Quran and the Hadith that they do things like Muhammad, good old Muhammad, having pedophile sex with a 6-year-old girl. It's called thigh-ing. And then when she was 9 years old, he consummated the marriage. No wonder women at the Canis festival down there on the southern border of France, they want a suicide bomb, along with their children, by the way, at that Canis TV deal. And by the way, most of the people going to that Canis television program that they have down there are all pro-Islam, bringing more in multiculturalism and all this stuff. So you got Jihad Turk. Jihad Turk is also integrating his people, helped with $50 million grants from none other than Saudi Arabia, who's supposed to be our ally, as even Rush Limbaugh said. And John Bolton, an advisor to Donald Trump, said, hey, Saudi Arabia is our ally, come on in, even though they teach the same stuff, Wahhabism, which we're going to show in a few secret clips here real quick. Don't go away, don't go away. We're going to begin with, go to clip number 1,
Welcome to the Islamic States of America. Weak leaders who have allowed unsecured borders and Syrian refugee immigration enabled our jihadi fighters to infiltrate and overtake America. The Islamic States of America now proudly sings the praises to Allah from sea to shining sea, reconstructing the American dream into what it always should have been. From the Hollywood Hills to the Statue of Liberty, radical Islamic culture has transformed everything. Walk down Hollywood Boulevard among our famous jihadi celebrities. Read about the latest fashion in Sharia law-approved magazines. Visit our new cultural centers and celebrate our Islamic victories. As our caliphate continues to prosper, we raise our sons to practice jihad and our daughters under the protection of Sharia law.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the Islamic States of America and to our caliphate for which it stands, one nation, under Allah, indivisible, with liberty and justice for men only.
Cut. Okay, hey, it's already cut. What do you? Hey, it's 2018. Jihad Turk, $50 million given to them by Saudi Arabia. They're gonna mainstream Islam in the United States. Well, what's happening is you got Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Taliban, Boko Haram, all coming in here, helped and aided and abetted by all of these crazy people. It is virtually crazy what's going on. I know I was there when the police chief in charge of counterterrorism, I was there at the mosque in Los Angeles, Muslim Brotherhood Mosque, and I interviewed him, and he said, hey, yeah, the Muslim Brotherhood has evolved as we have evolved. They become really good. They love America. Hey, that is baloney. That is absolutely false. What's going on is Jihad Turk and all these other guys in the over 3,000 mosques funded by the Saudi Arabians in America, which are all forward operating bases 4 years down the road, maybe 1 year, 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. 100% of these 3,000 plus mosques will erupt as forward operating bases to destroy America. It's all being done. Why are they doing that? Well, because we're naive and we are aiding and abetting them. That's why I showed those first 3 clips about France, Germany, and America, allowing these people to come into the United States and to operate with impunity. If you don't believe me, this guy right here, Anwar al-Awlaki, was in a San Diego mosque when he helped coordinate the 19 guys flying into the World Trade Center, and he's teaching the same stuff as Jihad Turk, teaching the stuff that you're going to watch in the next few clips about how to destroy America. Why do they want to destroy America? It's simple. If they can take over America, which they have quite a bit already, here it is in 2018. I know right now almost 100% of the scholars of America think I'm a whack job and crazy. I'm not. And you're going to find out by the time the year 2020, 2025, 2030, 2035, 2040, people will look back, they will find this show. I have these shows protected in a safe spot. They're all outlined with discs so they can bring them up and they can be shown, and the people will come back and they'll look at Zuckerberg and Facebook and Starbucks Coffee, who's aiding and abetting these people coming over to America to work to take us over. It's all going to happen. This guy openly operating in the United States. I went to his mosque. They were lunatics, crazy. They wanted to kill us. He was not there. He was in Northern Virginia at that time, but his people had been trained well on the stuff that you're going to watch starting right now. Clip number 4.
The beliefs and practices of other faiths and are taught to show respect to other world religions.
It seems the inspectors weren't aware of teaching like this. This is how British children are being taught to read the Quran. In a Muslim faith school in the north of England. Here's what 11-year-old Muslim children are being taught about non-Muslims in a full-time secondary school. And what they're told about other Muslims.
A person who's got less than a fistful beard, then you should stay away from him the same way you stay away from a serpent or a snake.
He puts a question.
One of the reasons I have the mustache, years ago when I was going out to the mosque, very dangerous thing to do, but I always had Arabic translators with me, police or deputy sheriffs there to protect us, which we always needed. But I discovered that in Islamic culture, facial hair is real important. You'll notice almost all Muslims have facial hair. And I had a small mustache at that time, but my translator said in Islamic culture, a sign of power was a big mustache. And if you had a really big mustache, you could perch an eagle on this side and an eagle on this side. So that's why I grew the mustache, as just a sign to the Muslims, hey, I know what you're all about. I know what you're doing. When I used to go to the mosque, they would ask me, why are we here? I said, well, one, we're bringing the gospel to you. And number two, because I want you to know, we know where you are. We know you're terrorists. We know eventually you're going to erupt and kill us, and we know your location. Okay, clip number 5.
Last year, dispatches revealed a message of hatred and intolerance in some of Britain's most mainstream mosques.
We Muslims have been ordered to do brainwashing.
An ideology with its roots in Saudi Arabia.
The pinnacle, the crest, the summit of Islam is jihad.
But the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia said it was not responsible. And Britain's most important mosque promised vigilance against extremism. So we've gone back undercover to see what message they're promoting now.
The one who changed his deen, what's going to do? Keep.
The last day.
All right, so now you're starting to get the truth about what Islam is, that Islam is very dangerous, and it's wrapped up. This is the Shahada. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger. And 100% of the different Muslim terrorist flags and groups all around the world, they all have this. They all subscribe to the Arabic down here from the Quran, Surah 860, to wage war and terrorize the infidel. They all do that. This guy here, I've been going head to toe with this guy for years. We did a demonstration in front of the Council of American Islamic Relations, which is a Muslim Brotherhood group on Crescent Avenue in Anaheim, just south of Disneyland. 2 of the people from his office there followed my people home and threatened to suicide bomb them. This guy's name is Hussam Ayloush, in charge of Council on American Islamic Relations. Big, powerful, very powerful man with the Los Angeles Police and the Los Angeles Sheriff, with the Orange County Sheriff and all of the Orange County Police, with the San Bernardino Sheriff and the San Bernardino County Police Stations, with the Riverside Sheriff and the Riverside Police Departments, with the San Diego County Sheriff and the different police departments. Very powerful man. This symbol here, taken from his Facebook page years ago, which he hates that he did it because I found it. I copied it directly off of his Facebook page, and in there it states from his Facebook page. This says, I am a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, the 4 fingers. You can look it up online and you'll see the 4 fingers is the membership sign for Muslim Brotherhood. This symbol up here means he supports al-Nusra, ISIS. Very dangerous people. He is very much involved with this gentleman here, right here, good old Jihad Turk, and he's very much involved with this guy here, Anwar al-Awlaki, whom we killed a couple of years ago, and he's the guy that coordinated the 19 people flying into the World Trade Center. He's also very much involved with this police chief, Michael Downing, Assistant Police Chief, LAPD, Counterterrorism Commander, working with Mariyati, Salam al-Mariyati, big-time Muslim Brotherhood, and also a good friend of this guy here, Jihad. Whoop, that's not Jihad Turk. That's some chick that wanted to blow herself up in France. With Jihad Turk here, who is the president of the Bayan Muslim Brotherhood School in Claremont, California, part of the Claremont Schools of Theology. These guys all use the lying of Islam. They use Taqiyya, Kitman, Maruna, and Tawriya to shade and fool boneheads, people like Michael Downing, who think Michael Downing thinks Islam has become wonderful and great and peaceful and kind. And let's go to clip number 6. Clip number 6.
It should happen to people who break Islamic laws, including Muslims who convert to another faith.
But he's Muslim, and he get out of Islam. He doesn't want any war. What's he going to do? Keep. Keep. Yeah, kill. Then have to kill. You understand? We're talking about Islam. Yeah?
It's the same for adulterers.
Goes on further, and we're going to follow this up, that she went to school in Saudi Arabia, and that's where she learned this. This is basic, fundamental Islam. What did Muhammad do? Right here. And this is what Saudi Arabia is all about. Qatar, or Qatar, Qatar or Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, the people over in Indonesia and Malaya who are all Muslims. It's right here. It's what did Muhammad do? based on 22 verses of the Quran. It says, do what Muhammad did. It's all in there. We've been talking about that. And again, 2018 right now, I'm the laughing stock of the intellectuals, UCLA, USC, Georgetown, University of Arkansas, University of Utah, University of Washington, University of Texas. They all laugh at me and say I'm a joke. Joke's on you. It's 2018 now. In 2020, more of you will awaken to see that everything I'm saying is correct. In 2025, even more. 2030, a lot more. 2035, even more. 2040, a lot of Americans will begin to awaken if we have not already been destroyed by the 3,000 Saudi-funded mosques going out and doing what clip number 7 says.
The worshippers, many of whom are children or teenagers, are being taught the Saudi Arabian interpretation of Sharia law from official Saudi books. The teachings include the brutal killings of homosexuals and women who act like men.
If someone make themselves like a man, a woman like a man, they understand this, the punishment is kill. Kill them from the highest place. And not going to be like animals, living like animals. Or to be like the people of Lut, we have to take the had is to kill them.
This causes a brief debate among the young students. One girl says they should also be stoned. Another student says the punishment is approved.
So all she's teaching right here is the Shahada. There's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. And the next thing is summed up in the Muslim Brotherhood logo down here at the bottom, the Surah 860. True religion is waging jihad or war and killing, terrorizing the infidel. That's why they're here. They can't destroy Israel until they destroy the United States. That's the whole issue. They cannot destroy Israel until they destroy the United States. Now, I know the new leader of Saudi Arabia, the new prince, a very criminal guy, he's all about how, yeah, we're going to reform Islam. Well, if you reform Islam and you take out the teaching that this lady is doing right here, which comes from Saudi Arabia, it's no longer Islam, because Islam is based on wage war and terrorize the infidels. Surah 860, that is what John 3:16 is to Christianity, Surah 860 is to them. Clip number 8.
And says these punishments will only be carried out in a future Islamic state under a Muslim leader, not in present-day Britain.
حتى ما نقول احنا راح نبدا نقتل في الناس لا ده لازم يكون امير مسلمين ولما جيش المسلمين يقوى ويكونوا يحاربوا حتى الاسلام كله يعمر.
This fundamentalist interpretation of Islam is being taught in Britain's most important and supposedly moderate mosque. Our reporter finds out where Mira has been trained. She says she's just finished 3 years of study at Medina Mosque in Saudi Arabia. It's the second most holy mosque in Islam, and its imams teach Muslims an interpretation of the faith known to some as Wahhabism. Mira teaches what she says is an important principle in Islam. A Muslim must hate as well as love.
It's not enough that you
That is really important. It's called al-wala, to love the Muslims, al-bara, to hate everyone who else is not Muslim. We've talked about that before. But again, remember, she said, well, we can't kill them until we take over. We can't kill the infidel until we take over. We can't implement Sharia law and lash people and stone them and kill them and cut off their hands and cut off their arms and do all those horrible things that they do. Can't do that until they take over. So what they're doing now is lying through the Arabic word taqiyya, kitman, maruna, and tariya. It's getting more and more that they are mainstreamed into England. We have huge problems in England right now. You've got the mayor of London right here, Sadiq Khan, and London is turning into a knife battle. They've had over 60 people murdered this year alone. We're in April of 2018 now. 60 people murdered in London by knives used by Muslims. And Sadiq Khan just comes back and said, hey, if you live in a big city, you got to get used to terrorism. Well, Tokyo has about 13 million people, and they don't have any of these problems. And the problem is that, again, you've got refugees welcomed by these leaders of the West, and so we are suffering dramatically. Clip number 9.
Fundamentalist interpretation of Islam is being taught in Britain's most important and supposedly moderate mosque. Our reporter finds out where Mira has been trained. She says she's just finished 3 years of study at Medina Mosque in Saudi Arabia. It's the second most holy mosque in Islam, and its imams teach Muslims an interpretation of the faith known to some as Wahhabism. Mira teaches what she says is an important principle in Islam. A Muslim must hate as well as love.
Clip number 12.
How everything goes. They're the only ones that have the power and who have the audacity and who have the principle to continue punishing the people as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say punish them. At least I say we Muslims should have that kind of power all over the world. And that people can see people without hands. People can see in the public heads rolled down the street. People got their hands and feet from opposite sides chopped off, and they see them crucified. They see people get punished. They see people get put up against a pole and see them get lashed in the public. They see it. And because they see that, that acts as a deterrent for them because they think about that. They say, oh, I don't want that to happen to me.
Sheikh Yassin told us his comments.
So here's the Mediterranean Sea. Right here is the Mediterranean Sea. There's Italy right there. There's Spain. There's France. And what you have is here, again, on France here, and at the Cannes, C-A-N-N-E-S, Television Festival of 2018, suicide bomber chick shows up with 2 of her kids, and she's going to blow them up. Well, that's bona fide, that is bona fide Islam, and that's coming to America already. You have the TV Festival of Cannes there, so you have the woman, the suicide bomber, mom, and a little baby there, suicide bombers. That's going to become commonplace in the UK and Europe very quick, and then after that, the United States. You got pedophilia in Islam, so you got little girls, and you got Muhammad, who is 56 years old, when he married a 6-year-old girl, and he did do weird, perverted sex with her when she was 6 years old, and then he consummated the marriage with a 9-year-old girl later. This is a very good image here. I found it the other day. This is, I believe, the look of Muhammad the first time he saw Aisha. He just, 56-year-old pervert, goes absolutely crazy. Good old Muhammad here, a 6-year-old girl here. Muhammad, again, remember in the Quran, 22 verses of the Quran command the good Muslim, do what Muhammad did. That's why they have all these childhood marriages, all this pedophilia, all this crazy stuff. This pretty funny cartoon, if it wasn't so tragic. You got Muhammad here marrying his little girl here. Absolute lunatism. Clip number 14.
Barely able to open her eyes. The scars on this teenager's face are from an acid attack. She was on her way to school, but after a brutal attack, she's here at this hospital in Kandahar. Her sister explains the horror of the attack.
Suddenly 2 motorcycles stopped us and sprayed acid on my sister's face. I tried to rescue her and they sprayed my face too.
All right, so there are acid attacks becoming very, very frequent in the UK. You got the pervert Muhammad marrying a 6-year-old girl. You got Muhammad when he first saw the 6-year-old girl. You got Muhammad with a 6-year-old girl having sex with her. You got Muhammad the first time he saw a 6-year-old girl. You got Muhammad with a 6-year-old girl masturbating between her thighs called thigh-ing. We have fatwas on that. And then when she is 9, he had sex with her. They're coming here. They're coming to destroy us. They're coming to take over. They're coming to kill us because they got to destroy us, and then they will destroy Israel. And you know why Saudi Arabia and all of these Muslim countries are here in America. Get ready. It's coming.